Oh, you don't know Satan like I know Satan. Let's talk about it. Peace, Brother Jamal, back once again with a little quick nugget. Let's talk about Satan, all right? What inspired this little chit chat is for since my son was born, my children have this habit of running in my office and grabbing books, and then they'll come and present them to me. And for me, everything is mystical and magical and spiritual, okay? Even the most mundane of things. So check this out. These are the books. Yesterday, my daughter, my youngest daughter, brought me this book. Some of y'all might be familiar with this. This is Libra Null and Psychonaut, an introduction to chaos magic by Peter J. Carroll, okay? That's yesterday. Today, she goes and grabs this book, Chaos. It's the making Chaos, Making a New Science by James Gleick. Okay. Can I be completely honest with you? I haven't read a word in either of these books. Not a word. But I can tell you, I know on an intimate, up close level about chaos magic, because I live with it, and it's called These Little Children. Now, we all have heard the association, and some of us may make the association of chaos as being something that is authored by the quote unquote devil or Satan, or if you want to even say Lucifer, okay? Now, what I want to try to congeal here very quickly is an understanding on a very simplistic level of what Satan really is as it applies to each of us in our individual walks, okay? Where should I go with this? Let's start off with the Bible, okay? In the Bible, you see the book of Job opens up. It says, there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was blameless, upright, fearing God, and turning away from evil. 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. 7 sons, 3 daughters. Now, I submit that this is your, we could say this is your tree of life, okay? Because you got, if you notice, it's 7 and 3, it's 10, okay? 10 Sephiroth. Now we'll skip down to verse 6. It says, now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. The Lord said to Satan, from where do you come? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from roaming about on the earth and walking around on it. Watch your children, especially real little ones, how they can just walk around and tear shit up. I mean, it's like there's no other word to describe it but chaos. Chaos. And an etymological, just little nugget to throw on here. Your gums that your teeth emerge out of, gums originate from the word, in their etymology, the word gum means chaos. Just footnote that, okay? But it says, the Lord said to Satan, from where do you come? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from roaming about on the earth and walking around on it. The Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? For there is no one like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, fearing God and turning away from evil. Then Satan answered the Lord, does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him and his house and all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But put forth your hand now and touch all that he has. He will surely curse you to your face. Then the Lord said to Satan, behold, all that he has is in your power. Only do not put forth your hand on him. Okay. What I'm building to here is that your children, it is easy to walk through life with limited responsibilities. Okay? And I'm just going to keep it real with you. A lot of times I think about, man, before I had children, it's like the things I could do in a day. You know, what I could get done. You know, I built my business by having freedom to move around and market and go. I actually, back in the day, I used to hang those door hangers on doors in neighborhoods. You know, that was, 15 years ago, to drum up business. Go out and see somebody out walking, pull over, hand them a business card. Walking through the mall, hand somebody a business card. But these were things that I had time to do, which is another discussion about time. When you have children, your time, the whole concept of your time don't even exist no more. So if you want to truly see how tough you think you really are, then you have to sit and have to figure out how to still be progressive, still be motivated and innovative with these children. Okay? All right. Satan itself. Let's look at that word. Sat means to lower down. Bless you, baby. Sat, sit, set means to lower, okay? To descend. The word, the ending un, okay? When you hear un becomes Johann in German. It also becomes, it is where we get Anubis. On also becomes John. And you look and you see in the Bible, you see the story of John having his head cut off. Well, John is the one who was a forerunner to the Christ. Okay. And we know we're talking about mythology, but these are the names given to these symbols. John comes before Christ. That means his head is chopped off to prepare for the birth, because John is representing the summer solstice. Christ represents the winter solstice, and that's just one aspect of the symbolism. All right. God represents the grandparent. Satan represents the child in the story of Job here. The child and the grandparent have an intimate connection because Satan itself is the first, but also is the eldest. How? The child, it is the first, as in it's the first aspect of this energy to come into existence in the material world. But it is the grandparent because it is something that already pre-existed in another reality, so to speak. Again, it's the grandparent because it already was there. It's ancient. It's the child because it's the primal energy. You come in as a child. That's the south represents the child. That's why the child comes in through the south gate, through the womb. That's Satan. Job represents, that's why they keep saying he's upright, upright, upright. You have to be upright to make the connection between the grandparent and the child. Why is it when you take your child to your grandparents or to your parents' house, which would be their grandparents, why is the child all of a sudden is more obedient with the grandparent? You've been trying to get this little booger to eat all day. Won't eat. Go over to the grandparents' house, child eats. And then the grandparent comes and talks to you like you're an idiot, you know? And we know all our parents do, like, you know, all you had to do to sit him down. He sat right there and she sat right there, didn't say a word and watched their little cartoon and ate their food. You be like, mama, you know, but there's something deep here. There's a deep connection between the grandparent and the child because they are the same. Let me show you. Let's go to some evidence by studying linguistics. This is an excellent book. This is volume 1. You need to get volume 1 and 2 of the interpretation of language. Volume 1 is understanding the symbolic meaning of language. Okay. Now, no, I'm actually going to read from volume 2. This is volume 1. I'm sorry. I got volume 2 already open. Volume 2 is understanding the unconscious meaning of language. Okay. All right. And here it says the grandfather and the forerunners are called un. There we go. They spell it A-H-N. This word developed a diminutive form, the German Enkel, which properly meant little grandfather, but actually denotes the grandchild. See what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to skip down. Okay, you probably heard of the concept, the great old ones. All right. Our words grandfather, grandmother are patently inspired by the French language, but the attribute of great is used also in other languages. For instance, in Sanskrit. In Latin, mures, properly the greater ones, usually denoted the forefathers, ancestors. We can well understand that the old head of the household was called by the attribute grand, but it is more difficult to explain why the youngest generation was also received this attribute in grandchild. See, grandparent, grandchild, and then just the old straggling parent somewhere in the middle. That's Job. That's Job. Okay? And see, here's another point just to bring out. You being the parent, you have been chastised by your parent, which is now the grandparent, and you have had your patience pushed to the utmost level with your children. You see the connection? You have pain that has come from your parent, pain that has come from your child. I'm not talking about no horrific, although some people have had some horrific pain, but on all levels. We're talking about the whole spectrum, okay? We skip down, it says, but linguistic expressions grew out of much deeper unconscious fantasies. They suppose that the grandchild is in fact identical with the grandfather. The grandfather or forefather passed away, but he returned in the person of a little child. And let's not get caught up on as we're talking about grandmother, grandfather, this energy that came first, forerunner. In this light of this fantasy, which identifies the child not with the father, but with the grandfather as returning into life, one may understand the idea of spiritual generation in a more positive way. For the primitive mind, the living soul does not spring up from nothing. It can originate from only another living soul. Someone has to die first in order that a new life can be born. The child has thus a double paternity. It is begotten by the earthly father, but generated in spirit by the grandfather, if he pass away, or by one of the ancestors. The reincarnation of the generative spirit in the son closes tight the family circle. The father in his central position unites both the living memory of the grandfather and the personal presence of the son as a repetition of the grandfather. Satan and God. Satan and God. Okay, let's go to another excellent and valuable resource. It is called The Mystical Dimensions of Islam. This is a must-have. And this is how you know you dealing with, this how I learned from Bobby Hemmett. I learned to look at the publishers. Okay, look who this is published by. Let's see if it'll, the University of North Carolina Press. So you know this is not, you know, they ain't gonna put out any Rudy Poot information. Okay, in this book, and you'll hear this in one of my on Beast Need Bars, you hear me say the word Tawhid on this deen. No, Tawhid on the team. Wait a minute. I have to think about the Tawhid on this deen. Tawhid on the team. Oh, damn. I can't even remember my own lyrics. Oh, no. It was off the last one. It was off the prep. It was
cups, take eat and then drink, take heed and stop think. Tawhid on my team, 72 on my team, scribbling on papyruses, invisible to your irises, the veil God tireless, move the air wireless.
I said Tawhid on my deen, 72 on my team. Tawhid. When I say the word Tawhid, I'm talking about it's a Sufi term. And let me explain it to you. Sufism meant in the formative period mainly an interiorization of Islam, a personal experience of the central mystery of Islam, that of Tawhid, to declare that God is one. So we're gonna go back to another part of the book where it explains this a little better. It says, who does not learn from Satan? Who does not learn Tawhid from Satan is an infidel, a remark that infuriated the Orthodox but found an echo in many later Sufi writings. So basically what it's saying here, and I know I got some other stuff marked. They had Tawhid referenced somewhere else in this book. But what Tawhid means, again, is the oneness of God. And that means the idea of this take that off. The idea of this dualistic reality of, oh, this is God over here and this is Satan over there, is, what's the word I want to use? It's an illusion. It's an illusion. Tawhid, the oneness of God. Tawhid on my deen, 72 on my team, scribbling in papyruses, invisible to your irises, the veil God tireless, moves the air wireless. Go back and listen to those bars. Kind of heavy. Just need to know what I'm actually saying. Tawhid on this deen. I'm talking about me. You know, your children help put you on your deen, on your actual way. Your way. Because in you taking the responsibility to teach them, they are teaching you, because your children teach you how to teach. They teach you how to teach by teaching you how to learn. Satan is there to help teach you how to learn. Satan, then we even go back to the planet Saturn. And Saturn ties back to Chronos, and Chronos is what? Time. And your children eat away your damn time. I used to think I was busy. You're not busy until you have this restriction really put on your time. And then you understand how to truly refine your time, refine your efforts. And you start realizing how much time you really waste. So that's where that restriction comes in. I'm telling you, it's rough, man. I ain't talking from no position of I got this all figured out, like, you know, yeah, I'm gonna talk down to you lowly. No, it's a fight. It's a fight. But it helps you to keep your mental fortitude to understand the grand picture. I'm a big picture person. You know, here's another something I want to read too, that just explains how I approach information. Because, you know, we're in a capitalistic battle. Everybody's fighting each other for everybody else's attention, because attention has been monetized like it never has been before in human history. Let me tell you how my approach is. Well, you know, I'm nobody's competition, because I ain't trying to be, I don't set out to be the #1 astrologer, the #1 numerologist, the #1 metaphysician. My approach, I want to know the grand scheme and how to move myself throughout it. Study everything. Let me find this, if I can find this, and I know it's kind of off topic, but it's, okay. It says, Hujwiri sums up the early Sufi attitude towards science and theology when he poignantly observes, knowledge is immense and life is short. Whoa. Let me Ralph Smart you on that. It says, knowledge is immense and life is short. Therefore, it is not obligatory to learn all the science, but only so much as bears upon the religious law. That means enough astronomy to find the direction of Mecca, as required for the correct performance of prayer. Enough mathematics to figure out the legal amount of alms one has to pay. That is what the Sufi, like every good Muslim, should know. For God has condemned useless knowledge. And did not the prophet say, I take refuge from thee from knowledge that profiteth not. So I'm hoping that I put forth that energy when I come to present whatever. You know, because I could do a whole bunch of long, exhaustive. Let's get right down to the core of this. Look, if you're a parent and you are okay, my battery is about to run out on me, so I gotta be brief. And to wrap it up, no. Now, by no means is this a slight, or is it intended to be a slight to anyone who doesn't have children, because it doesn't make your journey any less significant, because you still have a child anyway, and it's you. Your child is your soul. So when you look at if you do have children, when you're looking at your children and how they act and just the primal urges they have, you're seeing primal urges of your own divine nature. Okay? So this is something for everybody to get something out of. But I wanted to speak specifically to people, though, when I started out, that who have this experience of having children and who are also in this thing of trying to know thyself, you know, and you know, you might be frustrated at times, because I get frustrated at times. I can't read my damn books like I want to, and this and that. But you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't work, baby. I told you it doesn't work. This one works. Here, you want that one? Well, that wraps this one up. Brother Jamal, masterofthecosmos.com. Stay down till you get up. When you get up, stay down. Peace. It's a beautiful day. A mind is a beautiful thing.
The sun almost glowed, rose gold when it rose. The dawn of a new day on the precipice, I suppose. Anxiety is welcome when your destination unknown. Feels a helpful friend, arrogant kings get dethroned. Wisdom is when you understand that which you've always known, that you ain't about shit unless you anchored in your home. Movement is a must, otherwise water you can't trust.